What's going on, everyone? Welcome back in to another episode for Just a Bet Outside. I'm your host, Steven, and welcome to day 2 of No Ryan Behind the Scenes. So you're going to get the same looking video as yesterday. But happy Friday to everyone. That's right, you made it to the end of the week. Congratulations. It was a ho-hum 2-2 day for us yesterday. More on that in a little bit. There's a lot to talk about. But I will say, I think this is working well when I'm actually patient with my bets and not pushing them only out the night before and giving a lot out in the morning the next day and really thinking about it, because I lost both video bets last night, but I hit the 2 added plays and they worked the day before. So we'll see. But we're on a nice 8-3 run in the last 11. We will gladly take it, and day baseball can get crazy, so 2-2 isn't the end of the world. But we'll talk more on that recap in just a bit. We have a 14-game slate to get into for you today, and we got a lot to get into, that's for sure. But before we do all that, we got that baseball fun fact. So here we go. In 2003, Orioles reliever B.J. Ryan earned a win without throwing a single pitch. That's right. You want to know how he did it? Well, he did it by picking off the inherited runner that he had to end the inning. The Orioles took the lead the next inning, and he never came back in, and he gets the win because he was the last pitcher pitching when the team took the lead. That's absolutely crazy. But anyways, in this video, we're going to recap yesterday like always, and go over the good hitter matchups, the good pitcher strikeout matchups, go through that full 14-game pitcher report, give you the best bets, the hitter parlay ideas, and wrap it all up with the bets recap. For one more time this week, hit that like button, leave a comment below, and if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button as we're on our way to 26,000 subscribers. And also, if you are new to the channel, we do not do these long videos on weekends because 7 days a week with the amount of work that we put into these videos would just be not great for the family time, that's for sure. So anyways, let's get started, and that means it's recap time. All right, there it is, the 2-2 day, and we start out with a guy that I just left me speechless. I'm going to be honest with you, Luis Hill. We just missed it. It was just, we lost by 13 outs. I mean, if it's just 13 outs, that's not asking much, right? No, seriously, he was absolutely rocked. He looked like he was throwing the game. I'm going to be honest with you. When you look at him all season long and then you watch that, he's throwing balls right down the middle. He's hitting guys. He's walking guys. It was atrocious. Absolutely atrocious. And then today, before the game starts, I find out he was actually the most bet prop of the day in the MLB. His outs prop, I gave it out the night before. If I would have known that, I probably would have stayed off. That's not something you want to be a part of, that's for sure. But anyways, that was a big-time loss. Terrible read. Stephen Kwan, Royce Lewis, 1+ hit each. Got it again. Got lucky a little bit. Royce Lewis hit a bomb. That wasn't lucky, but what I mean by that is unlucky and lucky because he walked twice. That's 2 days in a row I've had a guy walk twice, but this time he still gets it done. Twins' money line was just brutal, guys. It was 3-2 going to the ninth, and then they just folded, fell apart. But then with 1 strike to go, down 6-3 in the bottom of the ninth, Jose Miranda hits a game-tying 3-run bomb. I was jacked up, and then we go to the bottom of the 10th. They're down by 1, 7-6. Nobody out. Carlos Correa comes in to pitch hit, hits a deep fly ball to the outfield. They catch it and throw an absolute BB to third to get Royce Lewis, who's trying to tag up to get to third. 2 outs right there, and that was pretty much the game. So Twins lose by 1 in the extras. That one hurt, but it is what it is. Alex Bregman over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. You guys are probably surprised to see that bet. I've been wanting to dip my toes into this market, and we did it with a 1-0 start. That was easy. I think he had 1 run scored and 3 hits, so he ended up with 4. So that was a nice winner. Again, those were all half units, so it's just a ho-hum. You know, barely lost anything on that day, but I'm ready to get back to the grind of it and get a winning day. Hopefully we can end the week on a sweep. But that's the recap, and now let's talk some good hitter matchups. All right, we got 13 good ones for you today, starting out with the lefty Jock Peterson, 11 for 26 off Taijuan Walker. Jesse Winker, 5 for 13. Winker may be hurt. I could be wrong on that. I'm not sure. Just check it out, obviously. If he's hurt, he won't even show up anyways as a bet. Bobby Witt, 4 for 9. Semien, 4 for 9. How about Mark Canha, 6 for 9 off of Eric Fedde. Most of that's probably when Fedde wasn't good. He's actually a much better pitcher now. But DJ LeMahieu, my goodness, 7 for 10. 5 extra base hits and 3 bombs versus the lefty Chris Sale. And then over there on the right, you just kind of get a bunch of 3 for 8s and a 3 for 7 there. So, you know, I still wanted to include them. They're decent, small sample size and all that, but Matt Olson, Nico Horner, so on and so on. So those are the hitter matchups for June 21st. And now let's talk some arms. And we got 3 good pitcher strikeout matchups for you today. And it starts out with the righty Ryan Pepiot of the Rays going up against the Pirates. We know they strike out a lot. Second highest K percentage versus righties, almost 26%. Pepiot, 72 Ks in 63 innings this year. So let's talk about this real quick. In his last 7 starts, he had 7 or more Ks in 4 of those 7. But in the 3 he didn't get 7 or more, he actually got 4 or less in all the other 3. So a little inconsistent. But what is good, he's on the road here. His road K rate is much higher, almost 35% on the road. It's been unbelievable compared to just 25.3% at home. That's a huge discrepancy. You know, take it for what it is. It'll probably come a little bit more back to normal as the year goes on, but that's crazy. Second one, Cutter Crawford of the Red Sox facing the Reds. Reds, 7th highest K percentage versus righties, which is actually a little bit better for them. They're usually in the top 3, top 4. Crawford, 88 and 86.1 innings. He has very similar home-road splits, but he's coming off 2 tough matchups, but he's still got 9 and 8 versus the Yankees and the Phillies. That was absolutely impressive. But before those last 2 starts, I don't know what happened, but before those last 2, he got between 4 and 6 Ks in 12 straight starts. That's right. We're talking about a guy that gets 4 to 6 Ks in 12 straight, and then all of a sudden faces the Yankees and the Phillies and gets an 8 and 9. I mean, go figure. That's baseball for you. But anyways, let's check out the third and final one. It's the man. This guy has been unbelievable this year, Jack Flaherty of the Detroit Tigers. Going up against that White Sox team who has the 4th highest K percentage versus righties at 25.5. And Flaherty, 100 strikeouts now and 77.2 innings. Impressive. Similar home road. He's just been solid, whether it's righties, lefty, home road, doesn't really matter. He had 7 Ks versus White Sox team. It was all the way back, I think, on March 31st in his very first start of the year. But in 12 of his 13 starts, he has 6 or more. So, I mean, he's pretty solid to at least get there. Not saying he's going to have a 5.5 line here or anything, but at least it kind of gives you a good floor. So, anyways, those are the 3 good pitcher strikeout matchups. And now let's take a look at the pitcher report. All right, here are the first 7 matchups, and the first thing that caught my eye was that matchup in Philly. We got 2 pitchers who have just been absolutely crushed this year. Jordan Montgomery, Taijuan Walker. They both don't strike out a lot of guys. They both give up a crap ton of hits. Put them together, they give up over 20 hits per 9 innings. But high ERAs, high expected ERAs, and Jordan Montgomery's going to have his hands full against that Phillies lineup. Then we got Chris Sale and Carlos Rodon, 2 lefty veterans. That's going to be a great matchup between the Braves and the Yankees. Cutter Crawford, Andrew Abbott. We got a lot of good pitching matchups, honestly. And then Carrasco, who's another guy you could throw in with Montgomery and Walker. He's just not been good at this stage of his career. Obviously, he's just an older guy. And then Kirby, who he's been good this year, but he's been much better in Seattle as opposed to on the road. But he is facing the Miami Marlins and Rogers, so that's not too hard. But anyways, if you're new to it, all the averages are on the bottom to kind of help you out and give you kind of a little baseline. And then we got hits per 9, walks, whatever it is you need. Hopefully this kind of helps start your day with your betting. But that's the first 7 matchups. Now let's take a look at page 2. All right, here are the final 7 matchups. We got one young guy making his MLB debut, Mr. Bloss. That's right, Jake Bloss for the Astros. All I know is something I read, and they said his stuff is really, really good, according to the manager. He's a strike thrower, upper 90s, and can really spin the ball. That's just all the info I got for you. So he is skipping AAA and making his first Major League start, and he gets to go against the Baltimore Orioles. What kind of decision was that to make him go up against them in his first start? But either way, going up against Grayson Rodriguez, and then we got Brady Singer and Eovaldi, 2 decent pitchers that have done decently well so far this year. Other than that, nothing real great other than Jack Flaherty, like we talked about that. And Eric Fetty's actually kind of an underrated good matchup there in Detroit against 2 struggling offenses. And then Dylan Cease, the guy who has about 30% K rate. He almost made the pitcher strikeout matchups, but Milwaukee's a little bit above average in regards to not striking out, so I kept them off. But and then we end it with Sandoval and Knick-Knack Paddywhack of the Dodgers down there. So that's the second page, and that is the entire pitcher report. And now let's talk some best bets. All right, this first bet takes us out to Cincinnati, where the Reds host the Boston Red Sox. Reds on the money line -115, Red Sox money line -105 with a total of 9 runs. I have a 1-unit bet. That's right, I'm going to give you 3 total bets, 2 1-units and 1 half-unit in this video. Give me the Red Sox team total over 4.5 runs at -115 on DraftKings. So, Red Sox going up against lefty Andrew Abbott. Yes, Abbott's been pretty good this year. He's been solid. Doesn't miss a lot of bats. He is a fly ball pitcher. Why does that matter? Well, because it's in Cincinnati, first of all. And second of all, the wind is blowing out. That's just not a good combo. This is one of the best hitting environments you can have in Major League Baseball. But there is a total of 9 runs in this game for a reason. We got Cutter Crawford versus Andrew Abbott. 2 pretty solid pitchers, and we have a total of 9. That's because of the situation they're in with this ballpark and the weather, in my opinion. Abbott's still giving up 3+ earned runs in 3 of his last 4 starts. That was to the Rockies, the Cardinals, and the Brewers. So it's not like he's been unhittable or anything like that. But he now faces a Red Sox offense. In the last month versus lefties, they have the 8th best WRC+, 5th best batting average, 8th best ISO power, 7th most home runs off of lefties in the last month, top 5 in on-base percentage. The one struggle they have is they strike out a lot. They're a top 5 strikeout team, or bottom 5, however you want to look at it. But Abbott is not a strikeout pitcher. He has 5 or less Ks in 6 of his last 7 starts. He's not known for doing that, so I think that'll help mitigate that a little bit. If you want to just talk about some of these Red Sox hitters, I mean, the 9-hitter Rafaela, who we've talked about, he has 12 for his last 19. That's video game numbers. He hits lefties better as well. Connor Wong, 10-game hitting streak, crushing lefties with a 355 average versus lefties. Tyler O'Neill, the ex-Mariner, he has 2+ hits in 6 of his last 10, and he has some pop. He has 15 home runs this season. 9 of those are off lefties. And oh, by the way, he's also hitting a ridiculous 345 off lefties. And then you still have Jarren Duran, Rafael Devers. I mean, this lineup is loaded against lefties from top to bottom. It's the greatest hitting environment you can have. Get that wind blowing out. Play in a small ballpark. They are the road team. They are guaranteed 9 full at-bats. And this Reds bullpen also does not scare me much either. So give me the Red Sox team total over 4.5 as my first best bet. All right, we're getting a little different here on this second best bet. I have a player prop parlay. Give me Jesse Winker over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs, and Trevor Rogers no to record a win. I got that at -110 on DraftKings. All right, stay with me here. So just like yesterday when we had Bregman, now we have another HRR prop. Jesse Winker over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. This is the meat and potatoes of the bet, obviously. The second one, which we'll talk about briefly, is just to reduce the juice. This one on its own is around -160, but Winker is on an absolute roll. He has 1+ hit in 17 of his last 22. He is over this 1.5 HRR line in 11 of his last 15 games. He has a home run in 2 straight games. Another one would be nice here. He also hits righties much better. He was an ex-Mariner. I saw him struggle quite a bit against lefties, but even against lefties, he's still doing decent this year. But he is facing a right-hander in Dakota Hudson. He is a very hittable pitcher. You saw it in the good hitter matchups, 5 for 13 off him. And yes, by the way, I did mention I didn't know if Jesse Winker was injured or not. I don't know who I was thinking. It was someone else. Obviously, Winker is fine, but Hudson has given up around 1 hit per inning this season. And oh, by the way, if you don't know, this game is at Coors freaking Field. The total in this game is 11 runs for a reason. There is going to be hits, some more hits, and even more hits, and lots of runs. There's just so many ways he can get this. I mean, like I said, he's been doing this at a very high hit rate lately, and now he's facing Dakota Hudson in Coors Field. You got to be kidding me. Give me a home run, and we'll call it good. Give me 2 hits. That's fine. If you want to take a walk, maybe go around and score. There's just so many options for him to hit this. I'm surprised it's not 2.5 with how he's been playing and it being in Coors Field and all that. So I'll take that as the first leg, and then we got to reduce that -160 juice. So give me Trevor Rogers, the pitcher for the Marlins, no to record a win. So you go to record a win, and you select no. We've used these before. It's been very helpful for us. I think we're like 9-1 on these type of on these no to record a wins. Doesn't mean the other leg is always hit, but I mean on just these. So Rogers only has 1 win in 14 starts. Not a very good hit rate. 5.09 ERA, low K rate. Everything about this pitcher, this guy is just not very good. He's facing a Mariners lineup who you think would be terrible. They've been average against lefties since May 1st. 15th in WRC+. Being on the road, they have played a little bit better as well because Seattle, as you guys know, is a pitcher's park big time. And then on the other side, you got Kirby throwing for the Mariners. We know he's a better pitcher. I mean, that just goes without saying. Yes, Kirby's been better at home, but he still has a huge advantage here. Marlins have injuries. I don't know if Jazz Chisholm's going to play. Their lineup is just not good. We know that. This is just an awful ball club. I would be very surprised. First of all, Rogers has to go 5 innings, which isn't a guarantee. Then he has to leave with the lead, which I can't see happening. And then this Marlins bullpen that I don't trust also can never give up that lead and for him to record a win. There's a reason he has 1 win in 14 starts. So give me Trevor Rogers, no to record a win, along with Jesse Winker over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs at -110 as my second best bet. All right, this third one takes us right back out to Miami where the Marlins are hosting my Seattle Mariners. Mariners on the money line, -162. Marlins money line, +136 with a total of 7.5 runs. I told you guys last time, and it wasn't on a video, it was over the weekend when I wrote a post on the community tab, Discord, and all that. I'm probably going to bet this one every single time he starts. Give me George Kirby under a half a walk at plus 150 on Bet365. This is my half unit play. Now, I'm going to talk about what I talked about in that post last time because you guys, not everyone might have seen that because it was on the weekend, but I had him last time, and guess what he did? He walked the very first batter of the game. It was brutal, but it is what it is. I'm going to talk when we talk about this, you're going to realize like this will not hit every time, but it's plus 150, guys. You got to realize that. So Kirby this year, 8 of 15 starts, he's gone under a half a walk. That's how good he's been. That's a little over 50% at plus 150, of course. Last year, under in 52% of his starts, a little more than 50%. In 6 road games this year, 3-3 to this line. If you can't tell, everything is pretty much 50-50 with a slight lean actually towards the under if you just go on all those numbers. And again, it's plus 150 on a 50-50 slot. That's a lot of 50s right there. Now, on top of all that, he has the number 1 matchup in all of baseball. The Miami Marlins are literally incapable of walking, knock on wood. But they have the lowest K rate in the league since May 1st against righties at 5.4%. We know we've talked about their offense a lot. We've taken outs recorded lines against them because they swing early and they swing often. They chase pitches. They don't really work counts, and so it allows pitchers to not really have chances to walk you in general. But if you don't know George Kirby at all, we've talked about him before. He has some of the best command in the history of Major League Baseball. He's played about 2.5 years now. He had a 2.6% walk rate last year, or this year. He had a 2.5% walk rate last year. In his career, he has 50 walks in 406.1 innings. It is absolutely incredible. With all that said, it's always risky. It's under a half a walk. You will never, ever, ever, ever feel comfortable in this bet until he leaves the game and he has 0 walks. This bet is not for the faint of heart. But we got to do it. I mean, I have to do it. Plus 150. I'd probably play it down to like plus 120, plus 130 range. But let's just ride the Kirby train here. And hopefully he doesn't walk the first batter, settles it in that first inning, and just mows him down and gets under a half a walk for a plus 150 winner. That is my third best bet. And now before we wrap it up, let's talk those hitter parlay ideas. So here we go. Ian Happ of the Cubs, only hitting 238 this year, so beware. But he's on a nice little hot streak, so it's sometimes nice to just catch guys on nice hot streaks. You can get some good odds. He has 2+ hits now on 5 straight games. That's right, 2+ hits, Mr. Ian Happ. How about that? Hitting 500 the last 7 days. He is facing a lefty. His average is better against lefties. Quintana gives up a lot of hits. Also much better at home, like much, much better. 319 average compared to 167 on the road. Absolutely insane. He is playing at home in this one. Steven Kwan, 2+ hits. Let's just start there. I mean, really, because Ichiro Jr. is just incredible. I want to say this about him. He had 1 hit yesterday. That's a down day for him. He had 1 hit. He has not had back-to-back days of less than 2 hits in 2.5 weeks. I'm laughing because that's insane. He's never had less than 2 hits in back-to-back games in last week, 2.5 weeks. Just insane. But anyways, we don't know who he's facing yet. Maybe Barrios, maybe Rodriguez. I don't really care. I'm going to be honest with you. I got to put him on here because I wanted to talk about him. Next guy, some of these guys are going to be repetitive, but there's going to be some other hidden treasures in here, hopefully, at least. Royce Lewis, just an absolute stud. Saw him hit another bomb. He's hitting 368 in the last 7 days. 1+ hit in 14 of the 15 games that he has played this year because he got injured on opening day. He has the Twins franchise record now with 9 home runs in his first 15 games to start the season. The record was 7. He now has 9. To put that in perspective, Mr. Royce Lewis, he has 9 home runs. He has more home runs than every single one of my Seattle Mariner players except one, Cal Raleigh, the catcher, who has 12. In 15 games played. Oh, freaking Mariner fans. Anyways, he's facing Joey Estes, who's given up 36 hits and 34.2 innings in a 5.97 ERA. Great matchup. I like Royce here. Maybe look at HRR props, maybe 2 hits, things like that. Next one, Lourdes Gurriel Jr. of the Arizona Diamondbacks. He's starting to heat up again, hitting 364 in the last 7 days. 2+ hits in 3 straight games and 4 of the last 6. In his last 11 games, he either has 2 hits or 0. No joke. 11 games straight, he either has 2 or 0. No games does he have 1 hit. He is facing Mr. Taijuan Walker, very hittable pitcher. We know that. 53 walks in 49 innings. Fifth one, Miguel Andujar. How about that? A little under the radar one. He plays for the A's. He has played 22 games this year and has a 330 average. He's actually hitting 385 in the last 7 days. He is facing Chris Paddock, who is extremely hittable. The second most hittable starting pitcher on the slate today with hits per 9. He's given up 89 hits in 73.2 innings. He's absolutely awful on the road. 8.2 ERA with 35 hits given up in 26.1 inning. It has not been good. So I also like Gurriel to stay hot. Shohei Ohtani swinging it well again. We all know him. 429 the last 7 days, 1+ hit in 13 the last 16. I'm rambling because this video is going to be long, and when Ryan gets back, he's not going to be happy with me that it's this long of a video. But he can hit anyone. He's given up 83, or he's facing Sandoval, who's given up 83 hits in 77.1 innings. The Angels bullpen also sucks. I don't see him not getting a hit, Mr. Shohei. So the 7th one and final one, Connor Wong. I mentioned it earlier. He's hitting 355 off lefties. He's on a 10-game hitting streak. When I talked about the Red Sox bet, he's playing in Cincinnati with the wind blowing out. Abbott doesn't strike out a lot of guys. I like Connor Wong also. So, all right, take a deep breath. Those are my 7-hitter parlay ideas I got for you, and there's probably a ton more. Those are my 3 best bets. I'm going to have more in the morning. And then that's all the research help. That's the week. Thank you guys for another awesome week. If you are new to the channel, the community tab, Discord, and X will have my best bets over the weekend, but there are no long videos. If I have any time at all, I will try to post a picture of good hitter matchups or something along those lines. But as you guys know, these take a ton of time to research and put into, and I got to make sure I have that family work balance. So now let's check out the recap. All right, there it is. We got 3 bets. Red Sox team total over 4.5 at -115 for 1 unit. And then Jesse Winker over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. And Trevor Rogers no win at -110 on DraftKings for another unit. And then a half unit play with my boy George Kirby under a half a walk at +150 on Bet365. BetMGM might have some good odds too, but they have not dropped it yet, at least as of recording this video. So those are my 3. Hope you guys just absolutely crush Friday. Appreciate all the positivity day in and day out. Love this channel, love this support, and love just grinding with you guys every single day over this long baseball season. But hope everyone has a great Friday, a great weekend, and we'll talk to you soon.